Hi, and welcome to part 4 of our 7-part series on basic checkmates that you must know. In this part, we're going to go over how to checkmate with a queen and a rook. So let's try to set up the staircase method similar to when we had 2 queens against the lone king. So this is not necessarily the fastest way to checkmate, but this is going to be a very safe method for you to learn. We have the queen on the first rank. We'll put the rook on the second rank. Now what we want to have is the queen outside of the rook. So the queen can guard the rook, meaning that the king will never be able to actually capture this rook because he's guarded by the queen. And now we can go forward with our usual technique of the staircase method. This is what we learned in part 3, checkmating with 2 queens. And this becomes very straightforward. And once you have practice with this, it's pretty easy to finish off the game with the queen and the rook. And the stalemate risk is much lower with the rook because he doesn't cover squares along the diagonal. So that's one technique for a queen and a rook. The other way you can play this position is you can check from opposite sides of the board. So let's start with the rook checking on the third rank, queen on the fourth, rook on the fifth. And if this king does approach the rook, you have to be a little bit careful here because you don't want to play the rook to the 7th rank where it could be captured by the black king. The simplest thing to do is go back to the standard staircase method by putting the rook all the way across the board. This king will be far too slow to ever reach the rook, and now you can complete the checkmate. So that concludes this part of our series of basic checkmates you must know. We'll see you in the next series.